Okay, we've got 3 different ones we're going to use. This is pretty much for either overlay. No, this is for overlay. This is when you don't have a lot of room. This is one for your door when it don't just opens up 90 degrees, well, about 110 degrees. And then we have these other ones that open up quite a ways back. So we're gonna put in all 3 of these. Okay, now with these hinges here, you have to drill that hole in the back of your door. You have to go down about a ½ inch, and these are, I think, 32 millimeter, which is, I think, 1 3/8 inches. That's what I'm going to use to drill the hole at. And then they set inside. See, right now they set above the door, so it has to be drilled where it's in the door, because this does all your holding, and then the 2 screws just kind of hold it in place. That took a smart fella to figure that out. Okay, let's see what we got here. We have 1 355 Let's see what a 1 3/8 inches is. It's 1 655 so we'll be 0.10 of an inch bigger than the hole for the hinge itself, but that's okay. Yeah, well, it's kind of moving around, so let's just call it 1 3/8 inches. Let's drill some holes. Well, I know you've seen me set up my other Foster bits for the drilling in for the European hinges, but you just want to make sure you don't go all the way through it, go all the way through the door itself. So you need to adjust it to where you go down at least a ½ inch, and then we're back probably, I'm going to call that a good 1/4 inch, and then we're going to try that, because we're going to try that on a test piece first. Alright, first thing we're going to see if it's in the right spot and if it's deep enough. Okay, it's plenty deep enough. You can see it's going all the way down, so we're okay there. Now, what you want to see now is if when it's all the way open, if there's some clearance in between the hinge and the door itself. And we see that there is. So this would probably be a good location. So we're going to go with that. Okay, this is the little ones we're going to start off first. These are our overlay. They work like the other ones we had. They work like these, but you don't see any of the hinge itself. So these mount in there just like any of the other Europeans. Mount it right there. Put a couple of screws in there. Make up some kind of a jig, because what these do, see, once these close, so you don't have any way to tell where they mount. So here again we have to do like the American hinges, the 1920 hinges, and we have to get this distance to here, and then this distance to the edge. And then we can just do it with a tape measure for right now, but if it's one of those things where it's got to be precise, then you're going to have to do something a little different. So let's just say, oh, and we got to make sure, I'll show you one thing here. This is your adjustment. This has a 1 screw adjustment. This has a, here's your adjustment. You have a 2 screw adjustment. You have this one. You loosen that up, and it's got some got a let me just pull this thing all the way off. There we go. I don't know if you can see this or not, but there's a little area right in there. Right in there. You can barely see it. There's a little flat spot right there. That's your adjustment for in and out. And then your other one is for back and forth. And this is the little screw that you use. So I'll show you how that works once we get the thing mounted. From the side is 7/8 of an inch. From the top it's 1 3/4 inches. So we need to go down 1 3/4 inches, which is right there. And then we need to come back 7/8 of an inch. 7/8 right there. Okay, so that's the position of our hinge that we need to, and that's to come even with this. Now if we wanted to come above it, then we'd have to bring this up, well, however much you wanted to go over this rail, whether it's 1/2 inch, 3/4, whatever. So this could be moved, you know, anywhere. But for right now, we're just going to measure it to where the top of the door would be flush with the bottom of your stile. Alright, let's get us a screw in there. Okay. Now we can mount it. Yeah, much better. Okay, tighten the screw up. Kind of loosely tighten it up and then move it around, make sure you're inside that. The detent of that little screw. Okay, now we just mount the bottom one the same distance where our top one is. We just do the same distance with this. Okay. Alright, we've got both hinges on there now. They are self-closing, which is great. They are self-closing, as you can see. So that's the only good thing, and you can see we're pretty much right there at the top where we want to be. And there is adjustments to where you can raise it up, which we're going to do that right now. This little adjustment screw. And then once you get it adjusted, then you just tighten your screw down again. Okay, that's the end of that hinge. Let's take that off and let's go to the next one.